So it's the fifth and final heat for this 29 kart entry for the elite class at Glan Y Gors. Heat 5, in pole position, Jonathan Lister. On the front row with him, Daniel Truman, Stuart Osborne and Andy Cowell on row 2. Tom King and Jay Elliott round out the top 6. It has been raining, the track is now wet. And we're riding on board with David Longman looking for the green light. The green light is on and we're racing, and Lister goes side by side with Truman and wins the fight off the corner. Down the back straight, people jockeying for position. Each driver has 3 heats to get a score to set the grid for the A final. Longman trying to go around the grass. I saw Oliver Knights off the road and Paul Crawford turned around. Knights has kept going. Downhill, Jay Elliott in kart 4 looking for a way past Andy Cowell. There's not much grip turning in for Carousel. Brown's turned in early and got better drive off, and he's trying to find a way past David Longman in the blue. Somebody's taken out the cone there. That's Stephen Hicks in the Tony Kart suit with a white lid. Oh, it's all getting a bit messy, and Longman's been punted out before compression. Downhill into Druids 1. It all gets a little bit slower now, and look at the lead that Jonathan Lister has at the end of lap 1. He's 2 seconds clear of Daniel Truman, Stuart Osborne, Andy Cowell, James Small, Jay Elliott, Dan Healy, Ian Blake, Anwar Burrell-Smith and Parveen Ajah round out the top 10. You're on board with Steve Brown. I think he's moved through to 12th place. Tom King ahead of us in the red. Jay Elliott looking to go down the inside of Andy Cowell, and that's pushed out James Small. The squeeze on the exit before they turn downhill. Small now, last of the late breakers. It's a game of chicken with Andy Cowell down at Carousel, and Blake's taken advantage and done the pair of them on the exit. And Jay Elliott's trying to go around the outside of Cowell as well. Now looks to the inside and has got his wheels inside. Cowell trying to hold off James Small. Tiptoe through compression, through Druids. Karting always looks a little bit slow in the wet, doesn't it? Especially on slick tyres. We don't have the time to change for namby-pamby wet tyres. Real men do it on slicks. So Stephen Hicks lost his lurid custom painted lid, gone back to his wet one, which is just plain old white. Looking to the inside, I think that was Ian Blake going down the inside of Stuart Osborne there, probably for about 4th or 5th place. Andy Cowell, kart 34, James Small, 44, and Daniel Healy, kart 22. 2 ends of the racing spectrum here. The old man, Andy Cowell versus James Small, still at school I think, and Daniel Healy. Round the outside of Andy Cowell, brave, and surprisingly well done. So we're coming through to finish lap number 3. Lister's lead is 4.4 seconds now over Daniel Truman. Stuart Osborne back ahead of Ian Blake, but not for long. Blake looking to the inside into turn 1. James Small in 5th, pulling clear of Andy Cowell and Dan Healy. Steve Brown has now moved up to 8th place, and Healy is once again looking for a way by Andy Cowell down the back straight. And Cowell's on the outside, and he may run out of road if he's not careful. Round the outside, not going to happen really. So on board with Stephen Brown, looking for a way past Andy Cowell for what would be, I believe, about 7th place. Now it is tricky, that's for sure. The water on the camera lens doesn't lie. It is wet now. The search for grip. Stephen Hicks round the outside of Anwar Burrell-Smith. There appears to be some grip there on the outside of compression, if you're prepared to go out there and look for it. Lister pulling well clear of Truman, who's happy with 2nd. Osborne still hanging on to third place. Excellent showing from Stewart there to hold off Ian Blake. Now we're on lap 5. We're through halfway. And Anwar picks off Stephen Hicks for 9th place, or certainly trying to. Has Blake got it done this time? Yes, I think he has. Andy Cowell under pressure still from Stephen Brown. Steve Hicks behind. Anwar Burrell-Smith. So it's a 4-way fight now for 7th place. And it looks as though James Small's got past Stuart Osborne ahead of them. So Small has moved up to 4th. Hicks past Brown. It's all a lot more tentative now for Fira spinning out. A lot of points here up for grabs. Sets the grid for the year final. And Brown is beginning to close once again onto Stephen Hicks. Will he be close enough to throw it up the inside into Spoon? Will he be brave enough? Oh, everybody's moved offline now, looking for grip. Jay Elliott to the inside of Alex Ring. That's for 13th place. Brown to the inside of Carousel on Hicks. Can he get it done? No, he can't. And Hicks will have more momentum off the corner. Look at the lead that Jonathan Lisser's got. It's out to 6.6 seconds. And now Truman's under pressure and has already lost 2nd place to a flying James Small. I'd be surprised if James can do anything about Lister this late into this race. Lister is on his penultimate lap. And Brown is still trying to find a way past Stephen Hicks. And Hicks himself is trying to find a way past Andy Cowell. Just getting back on terms. A 3-way fight then for 7th place. Up to Spoon. How dare you go in? Will you go in deep enough? Dare you go in any deeper? On the Carousel. Not a lot of grip now down here. People missing the first apex completely. You get a good clean line out. Around the outside of Stephen Hicks then for Steve Brown. Can he get it done? No, he can't. Whoa, but Hicks wobbles off the apex into compression and Brown is through. And he's narrow into Druids 1. That will give him the position all the way down to the pit bend. And Osborne is beginning to fall back into Andy Cowell. There's a 3-way fight going on for 3rd place between Truman, Blake and Healy. Osborne in 6th for now, but Cowell is running him down. Jay Elliott here is caught up with Anwar Burrell-Smith in 11th place. So Truman hanging on. Healy trying to go around the outside of Blake. Tries the cut back. He'll be on the outside going down the hill though. Osborne loses out to Andy Cowell. He is down to 8th now. Soon to be 9th, I fear. As Steve Brown goes through. And Hicks is going to try the cut back. It's pod to pod. Oh, off the 2nd apex. And that'll be an exclusion from the result for Stephen Hicks as Osborne disappears into the grass. Parmveen Ajar loses out to Jay Elliott. Look at the victory margin for Jonathan Lister. We're waiting for James Small. 7, 8, 9 seconds. 9.7 seconds is the margin of victory. Steve Brown picks off Andy Cowell late in this one. I don't think Andy will be too pleased with that one. Jonathan Lister wins from James Small. Daniel Truman, Dan Healy, Ian Blake makes it to the top 5. Steve Brown takes 6th. Jay Elliott, Parmveen Ajar, Anwar Burrell-Smith and Oliver Knights rounds out the top 10.